Whether you have a lot of eggs and don't know what to do with them, or you're looking for some extra special, I could not use that pun, recipes, this video is for you, because I'll be showing you how you can make the super rich, creamy, decadent German egg liqueur. It's a sort of eggnog, an egg liqueur cake, and then I have one more recipe for you that is savory and just perfect for Easter. The first recipe I want to show you is the egg liqueur. We call it Eierlikör in German, and it is perfect if you have to use up a bunch of eggs. I'm making a double recipe here. That's why I'm having 8 eggs here. The individual recipe, and sometimes you get a little eggshell in there while you're trying to separate the eggs. Actually, you only need the egg yolks. The full recipe link is in the description box below, so you don't need to take any notes while you're watching this. But anyhow, I'm separating the egg whites and the egg yolks, and the beauty of this is that I'll be doing something with the egg white later, so don't toss them out because there's something else you can do with them. And then I'm using powdered sugar. I will give you some measurements in the recipe. However, I have found that we like our egg liqueur just a little bit less sweet, less sugar. However, you don't want to go too low on sugar because sugar also is a conservative and keeps it from going bad. The rum will also add to that as well, and you can also adjust the amounts here. I like using my hand mixer. This is an electric one that I plug into the wall rather than something else. But we need to really mix the egg yolks and the powdered sugar until it is very pale and white and creamy. This might take a few minutes depending on how many you are doing, but it's actually kind of fun because you can see how it gets whiter and lighter and fluffier as you do make this. I'm making it right in the upper compartment, I don't even know what else to call it, of a double boiler, but you can also use a glass bowl that you can set over a smaller saucepan of boiling water. My homemade vanilla extract here for extra flavor goes really well with this. And then I have some cream that I'm adding to this. This is not really anything for when you're on a diet, but it is so good. You don't need a lot of it. And I always like to use just a little bit less or consume a little bit less, but also make it really good. And then we're adding rum. I like this dark rum from Trader Joe's. It's very inexpensive, but it's also pretty good. And I think it adds just a little bit more depth of flavor, but you can use any rum or vodka for that matter that you like. I'm adding that to this egg sugar mixture here. And then we'll give this another quick whirl to make sure that all the ingredients are combined. And as you can see, yep, there's always a little bit splattering, but this is just how it is in a working kitchen. This is not Instagram perfect. This is just where we make recipes and where stuff happens. That's just real and authentic. Over the stove, I have already set, I'm going to clean this up before I continue. I have already set up the lower compartment or the lower portion of my double boiler with boiling water, and my cord is just not quite long enough to comfortably reach and not have any mishaps. So let me just plug that into the wall outlet right here. And then again, some splattering. You want to go slow. The idea is that you want the egg yolks to get a little stiff, but you don't want to cook the egg yolks. You can measure the temperature of this. Yes, these are raw egg yolks, so I recommend you use fresh eggs, as fresh as you can get them. And if you are queasy a little bit about using raw egg yolks, you can heat them up to about 165. I did a little bit less, but you will notice that over time, this mixture actually stiffens up and then becomes really yummy. You can add it to nice bottles and nice glasses. And then let's move on to my next recipe. This will be the egg liqueur cake. I don't know if it's better to call it eggnog cake because it is similar to eggnog, but the German egg liqueur is a lot creamier and denser than I think the eggnog, and the eggnog has different spicings in it, but this is really a good way to use up any extra, should you have any extra egg liqueur Aya liqueur left over. I am greasing with some soft butter my bundt cake pan. You can also use a 9x5 loaf pan, and then I'm flouring it a little bit. But you also want to make sure to shake out any excess flour that you have in there. And now I'm weighing out my powdered sugar. This is similar to my egg liqueur recipe, and it's really hard to get the right amount. But I always love using a kitchen scale because it is so much more accurate than the volume measurements where, yeah, if you press it down, you get a little more, and if you shake things up, you get a little bit less. With weight, it's always the same. Now we're adding the whole eggs here, 4 eggs. We're not separating them out for this recipe. And then again, my trusty handheld mixer, I use that for so many things. You see that I have a stand mixer back there behind me, but I actually, for these jobs, I really love using a hand mixer because it gives me a lot more control over the process than this big stand mixer, which I mostly use for making breads or heavy yeast doughs where I have a lot of dough and I need the power of the stand mixer. But here in this case, I can control so much more what I'm doing. And then again, I'm gonna mix this up until it's white and fluffy. This only takes a few minutes, but you'll see this is already a lot paler and whiter than what we had before. To that, I am adding my really soft butter. I have not tried putting the whole chunk of butter in there, but I made sure to keep it out at room temperature to make it really soft because otherwise it won't mix very well. And I break it up into smaller chunks because then it's a little bit easier for my mixer. And again, on high speed, I give this a really good mix, and you'll see easily when it's all well incorporated and one creamy, buttery mixture. Now, in a separate bowl, so here is my Aya liqueur, my egg liqueur from the other day that I saved in the refrigerator and that I'll be using for this cake. Now, in this separate bowl, I am measuring out my flour, and I just use regular all-purpose flour. And then I have cornstarch in a pinch. You can also use potato starch, but this really helps the delicate texture of the cake and make it a little bit nicer and lighter and delicate. And it's really easy to overdo it here, and then you have to scoop something back into this pouch, but I am going slow, and this is how I do things. Now we need some baking powder, and this is based on a German recipe. The baking powder comes in little paper pouches, and so we have to weigh this out. Germans don't really use salt in this recipe, but I find it just brings out the sweetness a little bit more, and I like that a lot better with just a dash of salt. Now what we'll do is alternate adding the dry ingredients and the egg liqueur, and you really only want to fold it in because if you mix it, you're going to start developing the gluten structure, and then the cake will become tough and solid and not the way we want it. We want it really delicate and just incorporated. Now I'm adding the egg liqueur, and again, just folding it in until incorporated and then alternating back and forth until everything is combined. Now it's all going into the cake pan, and I'm using a really tiny spoon here. I guess I could have used a bigger spoon. But on the other hand, it gives me a little bit more control over where the cake batter goes because it's pretty stiff and sometimes one side is higher than the other. This goes in my preheated oven, and I'll set the timer for 50 minutes, but after 25 to keep the top of the cake from getting too brown, and I'm also turning it because one side of my oven gets a little hotter than the other, I put a cookie tray on top to keep it from browning too much, and then I'll bake it the other 25 minutes. While this is baking, I am ready for my next recipe, and that's a savory recipe. For that, I need onions, and we have so many wild onions in our yard that I always like to pick them. They are very closely related to onions and leeks, and this is how they typically show up in the grocery store, except for we typically get them washed, and they're a lot bigger. So these ones that you get in your backyard, they are small, but they're so aromatic, and they're freshly picked, and they couldn't be better. I clean the roots, and then I cut off the hairy part of the roots, and then next I am just gonna slice them lengthwise because there's typically some dirt in the onions. Well, first of all, I'm going to cut off the green parts because we don't need that. And now I'm going to slice it lengthwise that I can expose the dirt a little bit better and soak that in a bowl of water. That makes the dirt come out a little bit easier, and nobody likes to chew on something that is gritty between your teeth, and this really helps for the dirt to come out. And you just need to swirl it around a little bit. Once I'm done with that, I'm just going to chop them like you would chop spring onions or leeks or whatever have you. This is going to be the base for my quiche that I'm making. I also like to grate my cheese. This is a Gruyere cheese from France. And I just don't like that when you buy grated cheese in the store. It often has cellulose in it, which is essentially wood pulp or sawdust. And while not toxic, it can cause stomach upset for some people. And that's why I always like to grate my own. Plus, I think fresher is better and I think it's cheaper. Here are my egg whites. This is a perfect way to reuse the egg whites that otherwise get thrown out. But just for color, because it's going to be very white, I'm adding 1 egg, and I'm using free-range eggs because their egg yolks are just so nice and orange and so deep in color. Then I'm adding sour cream. Sometimes people use regular sweet cream for quiche recipes, but I always find that sour cream has a better flavor and is also a little bit healthier because it's gone through a fermentation process. Mixing this up, I need to add a little bit of fresh ground black pepper, and I always love some nutmeg with my cheese recipes, and I grate that in there as well because then it's a lot more aromatic and fresh, and some salt just to bring out all the flavors. Now I'm going to heat up my cast iron pan. I like to make my quiche in a cast iron pan. You can choose the size that is good for this recipe, and really I'm not really using any measurements here. Here is my spring onions, if you will, my wild onions from my backyard. And I will saute them for just a little bit to soften them up. Sometimes you can also just put the eggs mixture right on top of it. I do have some cooked ham, some Black Forest ham. That's really good. And I will cut that into dice because if you combine that, if you add that to your quiche, you'll notice the flavor is just so much better, and I think something is missing if you don't do that. Also, if you don't use a crust, this recipe is so much faster and so much easier. However, you can always use your own crust. This time what I did is I added the cheese to my skillet instead of mixing it into my egg mixture. And that has some downsides that you will see in just a moment because my egg mixture had a hard time getting through the cheese. I didn't know that. And that's why I'm arranging it a little bit to make sure that the egg mixture gets all the way to the bottom of my skillet. Now the 25 minutes are up, and actually my 50 minutes are up. And yep, I'm doing the toothpick test and it comes out clean. So I'll take my egg liqueur cake out and let that sit there. And since my oven is still hot, I can easily transfer the quiche right to the oven, and it's seamless. It's already preheated. After 15 minutes, I will invert my eggnog cake, and let's see what it looks like. It's always interesting, especially when you're on camera. Let's see what I get. Yep, let's look at it. Oh my gosh, it came out perfect, but we're letting it cool down just a little bit. In the meantime, I'm dusting it with powdered sugar. You don't have to do this. You can use your own glaze, whatever you like. And here it is. Now let's check out the quiche. It domed up so much, and I think that had something to do with how I arranged it. If you cut around, you'll see how it deflates in no time. And this is just a serving for 2 people, which was perfect for us that night. And I want to show you what it looks like on the inside so you can get an idea. Again, this is a crustless quiche, and it's just sitting on the onions and the ham, the sliced ham. You can serve that with a green salad or with some crusty bread. If you don't have a crust, then you can do that, and it is extremely good. My cake is ready. Here it is. Let me show it to you what it looks like. You can have it as dessert or wait until the next day because the next day is actually even a little bit better when all the flavors have really developed. And here it is, nice dark yellow on the inside, very delicate, just a few holes, and you can serve it with some extra eggnog on top or your favorite glaze. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.